All right, here's a second thing that I would argue Trump is doing better than Biden. It's using the White House press secretary slot to go on offense. Okay.
Yes.
The Biden press secretaries, their jobs seem to be don't make any mistakes, deflect, get through the briefing, hope there are no bad headlines, clean up where necessary. What this press secretary's job seems to be is not every day, but as part of the Trump movie in his mind, on days when he wants her to move some business, send her out. She is super aggressive.
Mhm.
She's not reading guidance. She's on her brief of what was she going to accomplish. And part of what she wants to accomplish is to make fools of the press corps for being liberal and lazy and stupid. Steve, am I right that she's using the podium better than the Biden press secretaries
Yeah.
did?
Now, I mean, Mark, are we going to spend all the time talking about Joe Biden? He's not president anymore. I know Donald
It's
Trump loves
just a
talking about Joe
baseline to
Biden.
compare, just a
Like,
baseline.
let's move on. Let's talk
All
about
right,
what
forget.
Donald
So
Trump's
don't talk
doing.
about it. Don't talk about it as compared to Biden. Is
Right.
she helping
Yeah,
Donald Trump through her?
absolutely.
Yes.
I think
How would you characterize her performance?
she's a former TV, person. She's like very good on TV and she delivers a message clearly and coherently. Sometimes all of her message isn't true, but she delivers it with force and conviction, which is part of the whole Trump mantra, I think, which is just be certain and say it over and over again.
One thing that's great about two-way, you talk about authenticity. We let it all hang out. Matt Gorman's going to take a phone call in a minute.
I will be
So
right
when,
back. Before I do,
all right,
I'll say
yeah.
that one of the things I think that hampered Biden, and I will do this, Biden. I think you put it really well how Caroline uses the podium better than Corinne. Um, Biden was really reliant on spin. To your point, they were on defense. They wanted to get through an answer, spin you on an answer. It hurt them when it came to inflation, right? Because inflation's transitory. They didn't tell a story, and I think what the Trump team has always been good at, no matter what, is they can story tell better. And I think that's what you're seeing is the difference between Caroline and Corinne, between spin and storytelling. Give me
And
two.
hero and go ahead, you come back. And heroes and villains. That's the other thing they're very good at. Heroes and villains. Steve, cabinet secretaries. Again, I'm not saying I agree with their policies. I know you don't. But if you look at Pam Bondi compared to Merrick Garland, I hope you don't want me to compare. Just Pam Bondi. You look at Pete Hegseth. You look at Sean Duffy. These are and Marco Rubio. These are like red light television performers. And again, people I think when people say Trump doesn't want to be overshadowed, like by Elon or by anybody in the cabinet. Trump doesn't feel he'll be overshadowed. He wants like best supporting actor and actresses to win Oscars in his movie. So again, I ask you, how do you think they're doing? Not in terms of policy, but in terms of communication, flooding the zone, the borders are all the head of Homeland Security. Like I say this, maybe I'm wrong, and I pardon the Biden comparison. Like they've done more to do quality photo ops with the cabinet in 25 days than I remember in practically the entire Biden administration.
There's no question that the Trump administration are maestros at communication. There will come a time when there's going to be a bunch of issues and a bunch of results that aren't going to just be communication. Right now, we're in the early stages of all this, and it's all about what you're saying every day. But there, we can go through some examples of at
Yeah,
some point the rubber's going to hit the
yeah,
road here,
yep,
and there's going to be actual results and numbers that matter. And
right.
then
So
I
let's
think
talk.
they're going
Yes,
to
sir.
fail the test.
Let's talk about some rubber coming up, which is
Okay.
the Democrats are heavily involved in, which is I normally have like a theory, like this is probably what will happen. I can't figure out how they're going to raise the debt ceiling or pass a budget or a continuing resolution because they need Democratic votes. So some of you don't know that back when Steve was a child, he worked on Capitol Hill for Mr. Gephardt. What other members did you work for?
Mr. Gephardt, I worked for 16 years, and he's the most.
Yeah.
I worked for
Yeah, you know
Dennis
what?
Eckert, a congressman from Ohio.
Dennis
You
Eckert.
probably
I'll tell you the
remember
thing about Dennis Eckert. He was
him.
easy on the eyes.
Yeah.
He was a handsome member. And he was from Ohio, right?
Ohio, suburban Cleveland.
Suburban Cleveland. So what do you say when people say to you, how is the continuing resolution of the debt ceiling? How is that going to be resolved? What's your base case on that now?
My base case is we're probably going to have either a shutdown for a while, or we're going to have a series of short-term, what they call continuing resolutions to fund the government for
Yeah.
weeks, days. The Republicans control the government. They've made that very clear. Trump says that repeatedly. They control the Congress, and they have to figure out how to keep the government open. And they have to do it. If they can't put up the votes, then they have to come make a deal with the Democrats. Pretty simple.
And what about raising the
I don't see
debt?
what that deal is because they're at the moment ignoring them.
What about raising the debt ceiling? How's that going to happen?
Again, they're going to have to make a deal with the Democrats on what unless they can do it with just Republican votes.
Yeah,
they can't.
They can't. Okay,
They are not unified on their own side.
Yeah. So that's a big problem, and that's not like far down in the future. That's coming up soon.